It's recorded.
Really excited.
Okay, good evening.
Good evening.
And welcome to this regularly scheduled meeting of the Old Kings Highway Committee of Yarmouth this Monday, September 23rd, 2019 at 7:15 p.m. in the Yarmouth Town Hall located in South Yarmouth, Massachusetts. This meeting is being held in accordance with Chapter 470 of the Acts of 1973 as amended. There are 3 new and 1 continued applications for certificates of appropriateness to be heard this evening in the order that was listed on the agenda. For those of you who are not familiar with our procedure, it is fairly simple and straightforward. When an item is called, the applicant and/or agent will come forward to this table and use the microphones that are there. And they will present their work outline. Any abutter or interested party will be given the opportunity to ask questions, review plans, or make comments after the applicant has finished presenting their information. We ask that anyone who wishes to speak to please step up to a microphone and begin by clearly stating their name for the record. Please be reminded that our committee's main purpose is to review items for appropriateness and setting, and it's the responsibility of the applicant to comply with the regulations of other town boards and departments, including the building, conservation, engineering, health, zoning, and the sign inspector. Applicants can pick up their approved paperwork at the Old Kings Highway office once it's been recorded with the Yarmouth Town Clerk. Please allow until Wednesday afternoon for that process to be completed. Also, you should know there is a 10 calendar day appeal period starting once a decision is filed with the town clerk. Any person aggrieved by our decision tonight can appeal to the Regional Commission of the Old Kings Highway. Our office administrator will be happy to answer any questions you may have in regard to that process. So we thank you in advance for your cooperation. We'll begin with the first item, which is concerned with putting up a shed, 10 by 14 shed at 23 Mariners Lane. Stephen and Kathleen Titus are the owners. Good evening.
Hi. Hi.
So we have Stephen in attendance, I
I am
take it?
Stephen.
Okay.
So this is the standard shed.
That's what I'm building.
And that, well, okay, on here you don't have shutters, on here you have shutters and window boxes and a gable vent on this.
It's gonna have shutters.
It's gonna have shutters, okay?
It'll have a gable vent. Actually have gable vent on both ends.
Okay, and no cupola.
It won't have a cupola.
Okay.
Are there any
Basically, what I'm
abutters?
doing is, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
I'm copying a Pine Harbor shed. That's a Pine Harbor, picture
Yeah.
of a Pine Harbor shed.
Looks familiar.
I'm copying it. I'm stick building it myself.
Oh, good. Okay,
Yeah.
And
great.
is this the one on the property now?
That used to be there.
Oh, okay.
It's gone.
So I was going to say, I didn't see it.
No, I put it on Craigslist a couple of weeks ago, and a guy came and took it away. Thank you very much.
God love him. Anything free. Well, that looks great. I'd move to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Now, before you go, you have to sign a document that says you're going to build it according to plan, and if there are any changes to be made, let us know in advance. So
Yeah.
that,
Let me bring it up right now. There may be a subtle change, and that is on the front where the windows are, I may put clapboards You have pictures of the front of my house, I think.
right?
We have, the front of my house is red clapboard.
Okay.
I may put red clapboard on the front of that so it matches the house.
Oh, why don't you?
What?
Why don't you just tell us that you're gonna do that now?
Well, I haven't pulled the trigger on that yet,
Okay,
but I
can
probably will.
Well, then you have to come back and see Beth and tell her that you're changing it.
Well,
What would you do
It's going to be identical. In other words, it's just going to
That'd be
be a
fine.
little mini house in the backyard. Yeah.
Okay?
I haven't talked to my boss yet about that. That's all.
Very important point.
As
run it by the chairman.
Yeah.
if, right now you have cedar shingles all
Right.
around,
Yes.
but you could specify tonight that you wanted to put up red clapboard, and if they approve that, then you can change it to cedar shingles without coming to any meeting,
You don't have to come to a meeting if you're going to change it to
the cedar shingles.
Right.
either way, because you know, and it's in the back, and it's going to look like the house, so as long as
It's
you
gonna
come
ma-
to me.
yeah, it's gonna match the house
We'll just fill out a quick change form, and there's no charge, and they don't have to come to a meeting, we just fill out the change form and
So I'll
you're done.
come see you this week?
Yeah,
Okay, all right.
unless you want
all
to,
right.
unless you want to say on here that you want to change it.
I'm going to put clapboard on the front where the windows
All
are,
right, let's put it on.
and it'll match, the
Okay.
color will match the house.
That'd be great.
Okay, so,
Well, do we need to reopen this?
yes,
Yep.
Okay, move to reopen?
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, now, we can write this up two ways. You can make that yellow,
I don't have any sheets.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
You probably also
Thank you.
include, Richard, the shutters, because on the application, he didn't answer
No
the
shutters.
question
Right.
oh,
about shutters.
So the shutters are a change.
yeah,
Okay.
so if we could write that in, so, an amendment.
Well, in what sense things get so confusing if you have to go back and research it, and there's a violation.
We don't want to do that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so.
So are we just amending the,
siding on the front will be,
And it's,
What about the shutters?
and we approved shutters.
Which I'm thinking are going to be white, according to the picture.
Well,
House to be black.
excuse me.
Oh,
The shutters on the front of my house are black. The shutters on the shed will be black.
Okay, so,
Okay.
okay.
and there'll be wood,
Yes.
Right.
so all that whole row.
Keeps getting better.
So as you said, it'll be sort of a mini version of the existing
Exactly,
house, right?
yeah, exactly.
Same coloring materials.
The roofing material is going to match, everything's going to match. Yeah.
shutters on all the windows?
Yeah, well, there's only two.
All right.
Yeah. So it's 4 shutters.
Okay, so the siding on the front to be red clapboard and 4 shutters to flank both windows.
Correct.
Okay.
good, okay. By your motion,
Move to approve as amended?
Second,
all in favor?
Aye.
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 You want me to sign something tonight?
Yep. It's right here. Good. So you can sign right here.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Thanks.
Oh, the second one, okay.
Yep.
I think you can.
Oh, no, one.
Did you sign
one
the
other thing. Yep,
amendment?
Sign
I'll
this.
sign the amendment,
The
sorry.
the amendment. There you go. Good. The next item is concerned with installing 18 solar panels on the river building at 46 Nickerson Farm Way. Alexei Kucharenko.
Kucharenko. Yeah, that's me.
Kucharenko. Good. You've been here before.
Here
And
before.
I didn't pronounce your name correctly then either, I'm afraid. Slow with learning.
Are there any butters here for 46 Nickerson Way, Farm Way?
So you have a lot of vegetation behind this house, which I judge would effectively screen this from any of the abutters in back?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
Looks like it would.
Yeah.
And none of them are here. Right.
It definitely won't be anything you can see from the road, so.
It's in the back.
Move to approve.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
I guess he just signed something.
I know, at least that was an easy one, though.
Wish they were all that easy.
I know. You have a good pile?
Yeah.
One I haven't had a chance to look at at all.
No, I haven't.
Good luck with it.
Thank you.
Thank you. The windows. That's it, page one.
The next item is concerned with the construction of a new single-family home at 5 Marshside Drive. Arthur and Ann Chaparrals are the owners, and Show Me Hill Corporation is the agent. Good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman. For the record, my name is Kieran Healy. I'm a land surveyor with the BSC Group, representing the owners of the property, Ann and Arthur Chaparras, who are with us. With me tonight is Kevin, the builder of the project. Here to hopefully get your approval, answer any questions that you may have.
Could I just have your name again, please?
Kevin Hamlin.
Thank you.
As you may remember, this site has been in front of you a few times. This has the addition of a pool, and it was felt better to put in a new application to cover everything rather than come in and look for another modification of the original permit.
Rinsing stations, AZAC,
Pardon me?
the rinsing station, I wonder what the material is.
Is AZAC? Yes, it is.
AZAC.
Yep.
The proposed gate that will serve as an entrance to the backyard and pool is set far back from the street, is that, according to the drawing? Looks to be.
The house itself is 143 feet, and the gate would probably be another 10 to 15 feet beyond that, so approximately 155, 160 feet.
The gate is vinyl?
So, yes. I believe it is.
Yes.
Yeah.
front entrance. Yeah, it is. But
And just to clarify, the street address is 5 Marshside Drive, but the front of the house actually faces Nottingham and faces north towards Nottingham.
Okay, so when it says the color of the front is going to be Newburyport blue, you're talking about the side that's facing Nottingham?
Yes.
That's the door.
The door.
Oh, the door. Okay, sorry.
Just
Yep,
the door.
sorry. I get it.
this. No, you have a different color for the garage doors?
No, they'd be the same, right? The
Same.
garage would be the same. Oh, no, they're going to be brown.
So the garage doors are what color? now?
It looks like they're the Nottingham, yeah. On the updated drawing, the garage doors are blue.
That's because he did it that way, but
Okay.
they are going to be brown.
Okay.
They could be the same color if I need to, but I want them to be brown. He just didn't show it in the photograph.
Okay.
Brown like wood color
Yes.
or painted brown? Painted brown.
But
Similar to the siding color, would be the home?
it'll be darker.
Darker?
Thinking a dark
Okay.
brown.
Okay.
Maybe like mahogany almost.
And that's theirs, so that's facing the woods.
Right,
And that's where the pool is, right? And the side that faces the woods, I think.
over here.
Yeah.
Yep.
So this is currently a heavily wooded lot, correct?
Yes.
How much of that are you planning on retaining, and how much are you planning on eliminating? I'm not talking about where the structure rests. I'm talking about the perimeter.
The perimeter, a substantial amount of the lot will have to be graded. And as a result of grading, the trees in that area will need to be removed. So I would say approximately 75 to 80% of the lot has grading or a structure on it, or the driveway, or the septic system, or the pool area. So a substantial amount will be of trees.
So this is going to have a dramatically different aspect now, apart. House is going to be prominent.
The house will be prominent, but the house will be back from the street considerable amount too, so
I'm not suggesting that's a bad thing, I'm just,
it'll be quite different. Obviously, a wooded lot and a developed lot is going to look substantially different.
right.
It is? Oh, yeah.
Look at that. So you can't really go past there.
That's odd.
I guess this is going to be the primary view then.
Subdivided.
Oh.
That's
Well,
not
that's
what
still
pie it's
150.
called.
Yeah, no.
It's good though. And it really,
This is a little
fits in with the
easier.
neighborhood. No question about that.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So we're.
Are there any abutters? Are you abutters or?
So we're approving not only the house, but a fence, the white fencing, and the black aluminum fencing around the pool, and the rinsing station,
And the pool itself.
and the pool itself.
I thought we don't have pools.
You
We
don't.
just have fences.
We did, yeah, well,
I know, it's crazy.
well,
Depends on where it
it's
is.
kind of a raised structure, so
Oh,
then
I
you get
see.
into another,
Yeah.
Is the pool raised?
well, no, this one doesn't look like it is, no. Oh, that was on the photograph you showed of the, what the railing looks like. That pool is raised, this one isn't.
Basically what it is the pool is on the side of a slope. So
Yeah.
on the back side of the slope, it's sunken. On the outer side of the slope, there's a wall in front of it to
So there
retain
is.
it. So it is, on one side it is
So on three
raised.
sides it's raised?
On 1.5 sides it's raised, the other.
Okay.
Yeah.
But on the back side of it's completely sunken into the
There's pretty good landscape plan. Yeah, there is. So I think that's, well,
But most of the landscaping is going to be lower bushes, so the house will be quite visible from Nottingham.
Yes. The house will be, but the foundation and the deck area, below the deck area will be, we're designing that to try and hide as much of that area as we can. But the house itself will be visible from Nottingham. It's going to look like it has its frontage on Nottingham. It's a corner lot, obviously. For some reason, it was decided to give it 5 Marshside as opposed to a different number on Nottingham.
But it's pretty common on that street, especially for those houses to be that prominent, to get the view.
Right. Hydrangeas, boxwood and hydrangeas.
Yeah, but this is the Nottingham
This is
side.
the side.
So all those houses usually have some kind of wall like that and
Right.
some kind of pretty typical of it. This, if you look at the assessor's map, this is somebody else's property. So, yeah, they can't even go.
So because of the grade, the pool itself will be barely visible, I'm judging, set lower than the primary, the main portion of the house.
Correct, yes. The pool won't be a standout feature by any means when you go by this house.
So how high is the wall? Where, at the lowest point of the grade?
I believe at the lowest point of the grade it's 6 feet, but then it tapers up very quickly to 5, 4, 3, and
So
so
you're
on.
gonna have a 6-foot wall back there?
At one spot, yes.
Okay.
Now, if the grading guy can do it, we plan to have him grade a certain amount up that wall.
Yeah.
But it's quite a steep slope for any of you who've been out there. It's actually a very challenging site
It is.
to get everything to fit and be able to drive up into it and be able to use it in it.
Right.
So,
So,
Yeah, that's true.
it's all going to be faced.
we have red walls.
The wall's going to be faced, right?
It's a
Yes,
structure.
yeah. And just so you know, the wall is proposed to be faced with a veneer. It's not going to be exposed concrete.
Looks like rock.
Looks like rock, yes.
Feels like, yeah.
Okay.
No, I think it's, like I say, I walk up there twice a week anyway. That's this plan, this is separate.
And just to clarify one other thing, the application says clapboard on the north face, that facing Nottingham. The sketch kind of implies that it's shingles, the plans that you have, but the proposal is to have clapboard on the Nottingham face.
That's the gray cobblestone color clapboard.
Yep.
You see that?
This is the cover sheet.
So you're using the cable system for the decking?
Yes, stainless
For
steel.
the, so
railings. Yeah, the railings, I guess.
Yeah, it looks like, if you're that far from the road, up from that'll effectively disappear, I think.
Yeah, you can't hardly see those cables. Yeah. Those types of decks. I think there's somebody else on that street who has that already, too,
Okay.
and it's not. It doesn't look out of place. It
No.
seems really intrusive.
And those cables would be 60 feet from the edge of the pavement down Nottingham.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, that's right.
More time?
I think it's a very handsome design. I move to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, members.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Almost got it.
Someone just needs to sign something.
Can I get this?
There you go.
Kevin?
Kevin Hamlin?
Yes.
Yep. Or one of the owners needs to just sign a piece of paper up here, just saying that you're gonna build it as according to plan.
Good, thank you.
Okay.
Is that-
Thank you,
Right,
folks.
guys.
You're
See ya.
welcome. Thank you. Good luck.
Need to step down if I'm not. You can sit there.
It's the camera. Jeez. Isn't that creepy? This is incredible.
So, the next item is an item which was continued from our last meeting, and it's concerned with some changes to be made on 22 Mayflower Terrace. John and Margaret Oberlander are the owners, and John is here this evening. Thank you.
Need to untable.
Move to untable.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Good. At the last meeting, we had outlined several features of the house which we felt should be changed, and I'll outline them first off using these photographs. Let's see, which is northeast, south, and west. But on this side elevation with 3 windows up above this gable, which we felt should be removed. And then going to the front of the house, there was a window again up at this gable, which we felt should be removed. And also the front door we spoke about reducing the height of the gable and eliminating this decorative window and changing that to some other type of arrangement. On this view, again, the window was to be eliminated there. There was 2 windows. And also on the back part of this gable, there was a window that should go.
These windows.
That's what was approved. This
Yeah.
is the new version.
Now, I don't know if you came up with a new design with these features in the new paperwork or not.
Yeah, I did. I brought up some stuff, yeah.
Some new design, okay.
And unfortunately, I was basing it on, you know, what I get out of what you were saying about the
Right,
meeting, so.
which I think is what I just said.
Here, but I watched
See
it.
how you made out?
Okay.
All right, so this is the proposed new side elevation.
Here's a smaller version.
Yeah. Would be
This is a duplicate of that.
this end.
Yeah.
So these are going, that's coming in.
Are there abutters present?
Do you wish to address us?
No, we'd like to see what the changes are first.
I'm sorry?
Can
You'd
you
like
see
to?
the changes?
Oh, you haven't seen them?
Right.
Okay.
If I might, these were just given to me today as 3 options.
These,
They're not, yes.
All right,
well,
so that's an option. And that's a different option? Oh,
this
that's
is,
not even the
this is
same
the front
elevation.
Right,
elevation.
so,
If I may, we spoke at the last meeting. I know you guys didn't like that, so page 1, I know you guys didn't like the 3 windows.
Right.
You guys had
It's
just,
not that we didn't like them.
I know, yeah. Okay, so,
They
but what you,
weren't
did-
They're
what
not
you had discussed
acceptable.
was to put in, to remove 2 and stick in a double hung.
Right,
So I changed the plan to that.
okay.
That's page 1. If you go to page 2, is an option for the breezeway to remove the octagon and putting in a, basically it's a reverse flying rake, which shows the roof line and removes the window. Yeah, that's that page you got, yeah. On the breezeway section.
Yeah, you're gonna have to come up and show us.
Well, you're calling it a
Breezeway.
breezeway. It's a
This is a breeze.
front entrance.
Front entrance.
Front entrance, not a breezeway.
Okay,
Yeah, one has a double hung window and the other does not.
Correct, yeah.
You know, I think,
see here, and then these are.
These are,
Gone out. Yeah.
that's gone. Right. Okay. Well, here, this.
I guess
Height-
this peak
height
is
still-
going the same as, is the same
Same pitch.
grade as this peak, is that the idea? So it's much lower on the approved plan.
Well, yeah. So you weren't able to lower that roof?
Which roof?
All
Over the
over the
front.
end?
Front entry.
Entry.
No, because of the electric that runs up through that area. So the electric panel had to be moved out of the basement, and that's where it wound
Right.
up, it was
Yeah,
placed in
okay,
there.
explain that.
Yeah.
There's people, well, Let's see. Does everyone remember what we were talking about? Okay.
Yeah.
The horizontal trim above the door on the front entryway,
Correct. Yeah.
rationale?
It's actually, that was on the original plan,
Okay.
and it's nothing more than, I know it kind of shows, I can't even tell you what it shows, but it's nothing but a crown molding.
Yeah. Yeah, on the original plan, it's spaced above the header
Above the
for the door.
Okay.
And what you're showing us on page 2 has it resting right on top of the door.
Right.
Right. No, that's where it is. It rests right now on the top of the door.
But on the original plan, it doesn't,
Okay.
on the previously approved plan.
Yeah, on page 2, it almost looks as though there are 2 headers, one directly above the door, and then one above that.
Right, so we,
Is that correct?
yeah, so we put that in to give you the, unfortunately, I can't just throw a roof there without having something coming across.
Yep.
No, it's,
Yeah.
I'm going to make a suggestion. There are a lot of changes that we're still talking about, a lot of details, and I think they would best be handled at an informal meeting. I would ask you to withdraw your request for your certificate of appropriateness, and we would, if you pulled that back, we would approve of your pulling it back, and then we would start fresh on a new certificate of appropriateness, and we could sit tonight and discuss all these changes and nail them down, and then come back in with a set of final plans that we can approve or not approve.
okay.
But what you've brought in tonight, I don't think is appropriate.
Yeah,
And
unfortunately, it was, I was just trying to figure out what you guys, I mean, unfortunately, I didn't have any direction to go in when I left here.
Yeah.
I didn't know, you didn't even ask me for plans. I went out of my way to make
Right.
stuff.
right.
No,
Yeah, I thought it
you
was a
came in
good-
with plans that were previously approved, and you built something else.
Yeah.
No, you can't blame us for any of this.
I'm not. All I said was, you didn't ask me to bring anything into you
Right,
tonight, and I
right.
did.
Okay, yeah.
So-
What we wanted you to do is bring some changes in, but we're not going to close this. This, we agreed to that, right?
Mr. Chairman?
We weren't going to approve.
If I might, sorry for me leaning over like this. There wasn't any really clear direction at the end of the last meeting. And Mr. Oberlander has come in, he's been speaking with building. I personally have been speaking with the Old Kings Highway attorney to figure out how do we handle this one, because it's unprecedented. And the suggestion was to keep with open meeting law, that we should, if the owner, if John, agrees,
Agreed.
it would be best if he would withdraw this application for the plans that he submitted with that application. That way we can informally, now, you guys can all have a back and forth conversation about what you'd like to see. And then Mr. Oberlander can bring in some revised plans for me. You can't talk about it amongst yourselves without being in a meeting, but I can relay information to you and you can relay back to me. And hopefully the next application, it's going to be the final plans that gets approved by Old Kings Highway rather than coming to public meetings every 2 weeks and spinning wheels. And
Right.
in addition, one other thing is that by doing it this way, withdrawing this application, we need to advertise the new set of plans to give the public an opportunity to review the plans, because they haven't had an opportunity to review any of the changes. So we need to stay within open meeting law.
We're having a butter here.
We do, yep, but you need to make the decision on what do you
So
want to
the
do about the
abutter-
withdraw. John, Chairman,
Yeah,
Mr. Chairman,
yeah.
you're in charge.
So I would request that you withdraw your application at this point. And when you reapply, then you'll come in with a new application,
Okay?
right? So if that's all right with you,
Yeah.
You just need to
we
state
have a
it.
motion
Okay, yeah,
to,
I would like to withdraw my application.
okay. Move to accept his proposal.
I move to accept the proposal to withdraw the current application.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay.
You can't second
Oh, I
because you
see.
weren't here.
Sorry. Second.
Thank you.
John did too.
Was-
Now you can engage in informal discussion
Okay.
back and forth, and if
You
the
can
butters have
stay.
anything to say, they can stay.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so I think a good starting point is the original drawings.
Yeah, exactly.
And the original drawings did not have windows, like where that triple window was, there's no window there. And at the top of this gable on the right, there's no window there. And
Right.
and the gable over the front door was reduced in height. And the fact that it may have a different pitch
See?
compared to the rest of the house really doesn't matter that much. But you're saying that it needs to be that high because of the electrical?
Correct, so there's
But
a,
where is the electrical panel?
it's in that,
Fellow in the back is,
it's in that walkway as you walk into that front area,
On the wall?
on the wall, correct?
It's all the circuit breakers for the house? so-
Correct, yep.
All right.
And then they run up, and then they run in.
Right,
When they run in, there's a triple beam that runs the length of the house, which supports the second floor.
so you have to go over that.
Exactly.
That's where
That's where the issue came in.
this comes from.
Yep.
Okay.
So that's why we figured the flying rake might be a, you know, an option to actually make that, give you some detail and get rid of the windows, which gets rid of the octagon window, and gives you some, you know, some detail, some roof line, and some shadow.
Right, yeah, some depth
Exactly.
in the design. There's another possibility. I know, can everybody see this? Over
the previously approved, right?
Yeah, on the previously approved, you have the space there, which is higher, it's bigger on the existing now.
Yeah, oh,
And
much,
if that were changed to not these type of shingles, but like curved bottom shingles, more decorative,
okay.
it would add a different texture,
And the trim board across here?
right,
Okay.
which would do there, and it could also go well in a couple of other places on the house like this, ends up looking like a big bare section,
And
and you could use the same treatment.
so you'd want to come out from this line, this dormer is, got the gable end now that didn't
Right.
exist in the original plans, which
Right.
was a really big change, so.
Yeah,
Would you continue that for what you're talking about here,
yeah,
from right here?
Yep.
From the peak, yeah, across? Okay,
yeah.
right here,
Yeah. Because the window has to go out.
yeah. Okay,
That could be an option, just to make it look less big and bare.
that's
Right.
Yeah.
really,
Right.
Can we refocus on the front entryway for a minute? Because to me,
That's not the best, okay.
that's a critical component of the the front facade. And rather than have those two frieze boards. I don't know, Richard, you could correct me on my nomenclature. What if the height of the door was raised so that the trim around the door could reflect the trim around the windows flanking it on either side, and the height of the door could be level with the height of those windows? So you could eliminate that, that board.
The crown
that
molding
re-
that
Yeah,
across,
that
yeah.
rests right on top of the door, it would seem to me. If you were to eliminate it now with the door lower, the top of the door lower than the level with the flanking windows, then you'd have an awkward space there. But if you were to raise that door, if that door were higher, so that the top of it with its trim was on level with the windows that flank left and right, then I think that space,
So you're talking about
Be all right.
a taller door, not raising.
Taller
it.
door.
A taller door, yeah, okay.
yeah. Because I think I understand what you're trying to do with that board, but doesn't work somehow. Sort of like redundant with the one above it.
Right, well, so the one above it, again, was the one that we put in, because, again, if I put a roof there, I need something to land that roof
Yeah,
on.
yeah, no.
Um,
But the one right up, resting on top of the door is not necessary architectural, structurally. Okay. I think that would be a good improvement.
Okay.
Well, yeah, back to that, so on page 2 here, am I seeing roof shingles in here? Why am I seeing that?
In the front entrance,
Yeah,
because we're putting in a flying rake.
oh, okay,
It's actually a reverse flying rake.
Yeah.
The wall is going to move in
okay,
instead of the rake coming out.
all right.
Because, at this point, it's almost impossible to build that without,
All right,
And that's creating the shadow
Correct.
effect that you're
Yeah.
trying to go for.
Right.
yeah.
Right.
okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree. I think the higher door would be a nice enhancement to the overall design, along with the elimination of the board going across the top of the door.
It could even be a little higher than if you wanted, you could make it more prominent by
Yeah,
making it even a little higher.
9-foot
I
door.
was going to say, at this point, it's a 6/8 door. I know I can buy a 7/0. I'm not sure what else I can buy
Yeah, yeah.
once you start getting bigger than
Would
that.
7.0 bring it more or less?
It's only 2 inches.
4 inches.
Yeah, it's,
Yeah, that would probably, that would make a big difference, I think.
okay.
As far as the front, that's really all the deviations, right? This thing,
This
this,
is not
Right.
that,
which
unfortunately.
is,
This is.
this still looks like
it-
appropriate,
well,
even
this
though
is
it's not what we
taller.
approved, but,
This is taller, is it?
oh, I see. I see.
And the reason for the double windows to the right of the door, of the entryway, why aren't they the same as the other windows?
Those are actually the original windows of the house.
Yes.
Yeah, we decided not to change them, is basically what happened.
So there's no reason for them to be that small? It's not a bathroom or a kitchen counter or something?
That's the kitchen.
Oh, it
Yes.
is?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I think there's only one window in the original plans.
Yeah.
Right, it is.
Yep.
And you can see where this height is on this roof, opposed to where it ended up.
Oh, I see.
That's why we end up with this big
So
area
it's so much
here.
higher.
Yeah. And this goes,
Here and here.
yep.
Right, because this is now, this would be, on this drawing, it would be up like this. And even on this, it's not really accurate, right?
No,
Because-
actually, it isn't. Are both peaks the same height?
No, not by any, no.
Because they look it in this
No.
picture.
Matter of fact, so the one, which would be on the right with the extra window.
Yeah.
When I stand up, my head is at the peak. This side, on the other side, I can be on a 9-foot ladder and still basically touch the roof.
And the floor is
So
level?
this is.
The floor is level, correct.
The ridge is 30 feet and 27.9.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
okay.
All right. So, I don't know what that is. Oh, from the water, which I guess.
Yeah, so that was one of the
Okay.
questions was, what was the view from the river?
Right.
Yeah.
And what are people seeing? And that's why I threw that in there.
Okay.
People aren't seeing anything.
That's fine.
Right.
You know, I mean, the house is, there's so many trees in that backyard.
Yep, not a
Well
problem.
vegetated.
Yeah.
Yeah. So. Well, if we're not gonna change the height,
No.
Did you-
I'm not really
Those
worried about
pictures,
the back or the
sketches.
side, but that, on
I
that
didn't, I
side
saved
is
this
this,
one. I
right?
didn't save this because he
Right,
did it.
that's-
Because that
Okay.
is the reverse.
So-
So the approved,
We already talked
This
about
is
that.
approved.
We were
Right.
doing
had
that right. He
nothing,
did that based on
and
his
these
meeting.
two,
but
1, 2, 3,
this-
4.
Yeah, that was the decorative.
That was all the same, it looks. So the
Yeah, that's what it is.
deviation was.
No, the other sketch was the decorative, right? And then,
Like, now it's like,
So the-
now it's
I did less
this.
stuff.
Yeah.
They're kind of working on those.
Here and here.
So,
This could be the decorative shingles
And that's a garage door,
Right,
to match that.
right.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, the
To
other
the rear.
sketch was, yeah, the rake, which he already
Right,
did.
the
So that was,
garage- So, where,
Yeah, these are.
that's gonna be
This
the
is
other
the
side of the house.
side elevation,
That's gonna be
yeah.
this side, the garage is over here?
I think it's over here,
Garage is on the right side.
right here.
On the right, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so then this is the left side. This is this,
That's
this
that-
side.
That's,
Correct. Yeah, page 1 would be the left side of the house.
okay.
Has he,
Yeah,
okay,
Right.
he knows about it.
yeah.
So the kind of-
This is just a drawing of these scalloped shingles.
Oh, yes, yeah.
Looks,
Mhm.
you're familiar with them. Right.
So going to the sides of the house, the 3 windows will be removed and replaced with just one, and the 2 windows will also be removed and replaced with just one. Is that correct? On the second floor?
2. So if I may on that, I actually got.
Wow, you already approved it with 2 windows.
You're talking these two, right?
Is that what she's talking about?
No, these, I think. Oh,
So
here.
with these
Okay,
two.
thanks. Oh, I see, yeah,
Okay, actually, I can-
in there. Okay,
Um,
thanks.
The reason for those 2 windows was actually the plumber's idea. If you look right outside those 2 windows are the exhaust vent
Stacks, yeah.
Right.
as well as the intake.
Okay,
So for carbon monoxide reasons, he suggested we have a way to clean that roof off for snow buildup,
Oh,
Oh,
roof.
you
okay.
go out through that window?
Well, you open the window, you reach out, I mean, it's about
With your rake.
3 feet with a rake, and I can clean that roof off. That was, you know, that was the plumber's idea. I actually thought it was a pretty good idea because there's no other way I'm getting to that roof.
Well,
But does it need to be 2 windows, or can it be just 1 window?
Well, the problem was with one, I could get to the top of it. I couldn't, you know, really get to the bottom of it.
so what's the, but, is the fellow in the back, is he from the building department?
Yes.
Yes, Tim.
I'm sorry to wake you up. But, so let's ask you about this. We've got an outlet here, and how far does it have to be from a window that opens?
That's a plumbing code question, which I don't really know. I'm not quite sure exactly the footage on that.
Okay,
That would be a question for the gas inspector, actually, so.
okay.
That's
So
not-
that's
yeah, that's-
something you have to find out whether that can be an opening window or not.
I believe it's 3 feet.
3 feet?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's what's in my head, but
Yeah. Yeah, okay. Thought it was 6. 3 feet. Okay.
Anything else, or?
There's probably a lot of things.
Okay, I'm here.
But we haven't figured out what they are yet.
I think Beth locked the door on me, so I can't get out, so.
No, you're not going anywhere.
That's gonna be a balcony. Someone pointed that out to me today.
So,
So why is there a need for any window at the other end? Where you had the triple window?
so it's more for light, and I can actually open that window and get air coming through. And again, so during the meeting last week, or 2 weeks ago, it was the 3, and you guys suggested me coming in with 1,
yeah,
so that's why I put it in there, that's all.
well, it's,
Yeah, and it was discussed, but it wasn't voted on as a definite
Yeah,
definite change, so that's, yeah. I know, and that's why we asked you to withdraw, because we're saying, you say something in one meeting, and
Yeah.
and then it's like, well, we agreed to that, and now you want something else, so that's why we're here, to have open discussion and input from any abutters that might be present.
right. So-
yeah, because on the design that you had come in with, you know, this one tonight, it had, you know, this single window, but it comes all the way down to the ridge line here. It butts right down, and it's too big and narrow compared to all the other windows
Yeah.
in the house. It really, if you're gonna have one there, it should be a smaller window.
And scaled to conform to the ones below.
Yeah,
In
Right,
other words, the height and width.
yes.
yeah.
Shrink it in both, shrink the height, maybe push the width out a little bit, so.
It could be an awning window even, because
That's true.
that way the rain wouldn't be going in.
Mm-hmm.
You can crack an awning window and not worry about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want to go elevation by elevation and talk about, and then we can make a list so that we can
Right,
move forward, and John can have an idea of where he needs to go?
exactly. So,
I think I did make a list for discussion only for everyone, based on my conversations with, and comments that came back to me and from last meeting. It's just a place for conversation, it's not a definite, it's just a place for everyone to start.
yeah, okay.
You might have made
Well,
some
we've-
changes.
We've talked about the front south elevation to remove the decorative window over the main entrance, so that's taken care of. To reduce the peak, evidently we can't do that,
Mm-hmm.
but we'll modify the gable design with a flying rake and if possible, use these decorative shingles in there. And also you talked in terms of a 7-foot door Now, there was,
And eliminating the board, the horizontal board above the door.
above the door.
The crown molding, yeah.
Okay. All right. And then there are railings on the main entrance landing, which
Oh,
I can't see any.
yeah, they're right there.
they're in this picture.
It's just,
They look really low.
Yeah, they've been there since I bought the
They do.
house.
Like, that- Maybe it's just because the car is
I
there.
think so.
The car is
It looks
blocked.
like they're
Cars
so
blocked.
low.
Actually, they're very low. The woman that owned the house previous to me was about maybe 5 foot tops. And, you know, that's why they set them so low for her.
Did you have the light switches down low too?
Yes, she did, too.
Okay, so anyway, they should be on the plan. When you
Okay,
draw up a
Yeah.
plan,
okay,
if you're going to have railings, that
Okay.
should be on the plan.
okay.
Okay.
All right. Now, let's look at the west elevation.
So,
Side.
I don't mean to interrupt, I just want to get it all right the first time around, hopefully. Did you talk about the window on that front elevation, on the third level window, what you want to do with that?
Yeah. Okay. So that's this window on this picture,
That's
right?
coming
Yeah.
out.
The upper window.
Right,
It should be eliminated
okay.
completely.
Possibly the decorative
And
shingles or
then
something
put
too.
decorative shingle across
Talking about the one
there.
at the peak, correct?
Yes.
Right.
Right,
The third floor.
right. So that's this one.
Yes. That gets us closer back to the.
That's
Back
page
to
2,
your
top,
plans.
yep, okay.
Right.
This one.
Beth, you're writing all this down, right?
I am. I am, that's why I'm trying, I don't mean to take control, but I
No,
need to
but-
keep it on
yeah.
track and, yeah. Yep, so that,
Okay.
then I can read it all back at the end if someone wants. All right.
Okay, so anything else on that?
Didn't you talk about continuing the molding across on that gable?
Like on the previously approved
Oh,
plan.
right.
Yeah.
What? I missed
Yeah.
that, I missed.
Putting the
Like the trim
From-
go across.
cross
Right.
here.
Across. Oh, no, this, across here,
Right.
Richard?
Yeah.
John,
Good,
Yeah,
that would create a nice balance to the front entryway.
Yeah,
Right.
Since there's no window.
Mm-hmm.
put a trim board across here, and then
Okay.
have these
The scallop
scalloped above
from there
that.
above?
Yeah.
Okay.
That would broaden the appearance out.
Yeah.
So now you've got a
Yeah.
tie-in with the front entryway.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, and then do that right here.
Oh, yeah.
Cool.
Do you want that the same color? The
Sure.
scallops?
Yeah, sure, that's all right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, just having a different design really stands out by itself.
Mention, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Good. All right.
Same fenestration on that section of the front facade? The 2 windows over on the side as opposed to the first plan, where we've got 3?
Oh, right. Well, you
Yeah, I would leave it.
have, kind of, you got the dormer going,
I think when you fix up the top above it and have a trim piece going across, it kind
Yeah,
of broadens it out.
yeah.
So I would just leave that.
Yep.
Now, what we're calling the right elevation, is that the garage door?
Correct.
West elevation.
So just to be clear on one point, on focusing again on that section of the front facade. So the doghouse dormer with the single window,
Right.
we're keeping that.
Leave it, yeah.
All right, so how does this horizontal trim board that Jane suggested work with that?
Is it a trim board or is it decorative?
I'm sorry,
It goes from this,
Shingles.
it goes from
that
this?
corner.
no,
Okay.
the
And setback.
the trim board divides up, the decorative shingles are above it.
This would
All right,
be-
so there'd be a board across
Yep,
there and a
I
board
just
across
can't
there?
see this end,
Just
that's why
across the
I'm,
right.
Just
the way
across the
All
right.
right, yeah, so that would, it would be here.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah, all right, just so I word it, okay, good, yep.
So these two peaks, or this end, rake board, between the two rake boards.
Yep,
Yeah, because this is far forward, so that.
That's a good idea,
goes
Richard.
Back. This is, that's how it's down here.
the side where the garage doors are, everything needs to be changed there.
Well, it's pretty far off. Went from 3 windows in the approved plan to 5. 2 garage doors to 1.
Right.
Right. Well, what they're gonna do, he's gonna do is come in with a set of plans which show what's on the picture.
Okay.
And if that had come in originally, we probably would have allowed that,
Mhm.
so.
Yeah,
Okay.
But now at least we'll have a proper
An accurate
set
plan.
of plans.
Mhm.
yeah.
Okay.
Now,
So that's agreed, no changes there.
Right.
Okay.
the left elevation, those 3 windows, we're going to change that to an awning window, similar to what you have on the first floor,
Yeah, can we make that either an awning or just remove everything?
or remove everything?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that way, I mean,
This
The
elevation,
bring the decorative there too?
yeah. You could use, if you remove it and then use decorative shingles on that top part of the gable.
so I guess my question would be, how far up?
Yeah, good.
I mean, I'm thinking like the middle of that window to start it. I mean, I think it would look foolish if it sat
You don't
on
want it
top.
all the way
Yeah.
down.
No.
You're right.
So I'm just counting shingles here, 5, 10,
Right.
15, 20, 25, 30, about 35 feet low down from the ridge.
Well,
Now, all I'm doing is counting shingles, so at 5 inches of the weather,
yeah.
so,
Which is about where this
about the middle of that window.
middle of the window is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
okay.
We'd break it up so that it
Break up
doesn't,
that
yeah.
big wall, yeah.
And, I mean,
Maybe a little
Honestly,
bit lower, maybe like another course lower. Maybe like 8 shingles.
okay.
Yep.
I mean, on the original
'Cause it looks
plan,
a little,
there was nothing up there anyway.
right.
But I think
Shingles.
because now
Yeah, but
the
the-
peak is so much higher,
So much
right?
Yeah.
higher.
Yeah, but the whole thing went up.
Yeah.
So there's a lot more space.
The old
Well,
decorative
It looks
stuff.
like in the as-built anyway from the plan that there's a lot more mass there than originally approved. So how do you make it look less overwhelming?
Unfortunately, I don't have a original plan in front of me, but unfortunately, what happens, and I'm sure you guys see this all the time, we do a plan, and then you go to engineering, and engineering says, no, 8-foot or 8-inch joists aren't going to work, you need to get into a 14-inch joist. So everything just starts like creeping up. I don't think there was a change in the roof lines on that side.
You don't think it's taller?
If
I see what
if
you're
it's
saying.
taller, they
Right, yeah,
they're
The whole
both
thing
taller.
is taller. He's saying that
So
this
the-
isn't any
The first
further.
floor went up with the second floor.
Right.
Okay.
Well, the ridge line originally was to be 27.9, it's 30 now.
This is flat.
Right. But what, I guess what I'm getting at is
The
Yeah,
space
so that
between the
gives
two
you
peaks.
that
correct,
more
yeah. The
mass.
space between the two peaks
That
didn't
needs to
change.
have
Right,
something
that's
to
why I
break
was
it up.
saying if you lower this.
Yeah.
But that's fine. I mean,
That's
for me to throw
1/3.
clamshell in there instead of regular shingle is no big deal.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Okay, so that's the east elevation. Now, on the rear north elevation,
Right, so on this, so on this one, remove the windows and decorative
Right,
molding there. Now, do they need to put that strip there, or no, that's just in the front?
yeah, I don't think you need it there.
That board, you don't need the trim board. Good,
Oh, a base trim board, you mean?
okay.
I don't think you do.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Look good. So,
Yeah, it wouldn't fit.
No, I think it looks silly.
Yeah.
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 Wallace interrupt us.
So if we go to this rear north elevation, we talked about the window to get out to fix the gas vent. So do you think anything needs to be done there?
Could you possibly rake from the deck? One, you know, if you had one window
Yeah.
instead of two in that location, you said that you could rake snow at the top and then,
Yeah, yeah.
I suppose. I
without
mean,
pulling
the
snow
problem
down
is
on
snowing
yourself.
on yourself,
Right,
yeah. I mean, the other little thing to that is, again, if you go to that page 4, no one in the world can see those two windows. I mean,
Right, that's what I'm saying, if,
Yeah.
maybe it was just leave them there.
I mean, they're in a spot where, unless you're in a 12 by 12 area in my backyard looking up, you can't see them.
Yeah,
So just have a
So
copy
no
of plans
changes
that
there. No
reflect
change to
what
the
is
windows.
Right.
existing, again.
Right.
now removing
Okay,
two
so not
windows
touching
on
those.
third west facing the main house.
What about the one on that left peak?
that's in the backyard, isn't it?
Yeah, but you still have the say over it because it's part of the original.
It's on the previously approved plan.
Yeah, it's not on the previously approved.
Which is?
You can,
I would leave it.
and then we do need to hear from abutters, don't forget.
Oh,
Third reminder.
so what
This window.
are these?
Which window are you talking about?
Oh,
No,
Wait,
I'm
wait, wait,
talking
she's
about
pointing.
these.
yeah,
That's on the previously approved plan.
yeah.
Not on this, this is the previously approved plan.
Well, I have a
Previous
copy
Right
of,
here.
Plan.
yeah, right
They're
there.
there.
There's no window up there.
No, there isn't.
Is there another window are you talking about?
Yeah, are you looking
Oh,
at the?
this one in the
yeah.
peak, okay.
That's where the peak was raised.
Oh, we're looking at this one. I can't see it.
Sorry.
No,
All right.
no, that's okay.
I think since the peak was raised, the third window is fine.
Kind of need something up there to
Right.
break it up.
Yeah.
Okay,
Plan just needs to be updated.
And no decorative shingles on that peak then. So that window's gonna stay, that double hung?
the ducks won't appreciate shingles.
So that can stay, so that's okay.
There is one question, though. In the picture, it looks like a shed or rinsing station, a shower or something on the deck,
Yeah, it's a rinsing station.
rinsing station.
That used to be over in the, that was moved over there. Is that gonna stay there?
Yes.
So that just needs to be added
You
to the
should put that
plan?
to the
Okay.
plans too, yeah.
It should be on the plan that,
Right.
you know,
Yeah, it's over here.
what is it made of?
Pine.
Old,
No.
weathered, just
Yeah.
weathered pine.
Yeah,
And it's on the deck.
correct.
Are the deck railings gonna stay horizontal, or are they gonna change to the vertical that's on the, oh, I'm sorry, I don't mean to be asking all the questions.
Yeah, I mean, again, those are the original, that's the original deck from,
Right, so you're not gonna, in your drawings, you have it be vertical, but right there, right here has the wide
Yeah.
horizontal.
okay, that's probably, that was just a a mistake from the architect then.
Okay.
So it's going to be horizontal?
Yeah, that's the way, I mean, that's the way they are.
And what about the new deck?
So the new deck on the first floor.
Railings on this, and
There's no
the,
railing.
it shows on the drawings that there's
It
going to be
does?
railings.
Okay. So there'll be no railing. I'll have her take that off.
Okay. I didn't look at this one.
So,
Does
Did
that
we
comply with
withdraw this
building?
now?
yeah, I don't know, that's, I was just gonna ask that.
It's 18 inches.
Drive a truck
Oh.
through there.
Yeah, anything under 30 inches, you don't need a guardrail.
Okay.
Yeah, so Tim, I don't know if you saw this, but just to get your blessing. So this height's good with no railings, having this,
It's
having
under
this
30,
finished?
yeah, it's under 30 inches.
Okay, okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Right.
But you'll need railings on the top one, obviously.
Correct.
All right. Excellent.
And actually, we might as well discuss that right now, because I haven't finished that deck. So my thought was to go with a white two white posts and wire. Is that acceptable?
On
That's going to be on the back of the house anyway,
back of the
so.
house. Yeah.
Okay. So so one other thing that we talked about was doing stainless steel rails with the wire.
I still
I mean,
don't think it would be a.
Just because it's nautical.
I don't think, we can't be seen from the road.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
So cable railings on the top
Right.
deck.
Yeah. So can, your butters here, do you guys
Okay,
get what we're
there's
doing?
one other thing on the back of the house.
in front of us.
No, I know.
There
you
really
don't.
aren't any yet.
But, yeah,
Right,
there
there's-
really aren't
When
any.
did you get those? Because I stopped up there.
They're not plans, they're
we
not,
don't-
they,
yeah.
they came late this afternoon, after you left, and they were just, they're not plans that were, they were just thoughts and suggestions. So now that application has been withdrawn, so right now, there are no plans on the table. Right now, we're looking at what was built by the pictures, and they're talking about taking into consideration what has been discussed, making some changes to what is there. And then John's going to come back with a set of plans, we'll advertise it again, and that's when the public, again, will vote on that application, but
Have any of you actually seen the house?
Oh, yeah.
No, we've all seen it.
We've all seen it, yeah.
I'm so sure.
It's pretty obvious.
I'm concerned, what kind of house is this? How do you classify this?
What was it?
I mean, is this,
What do you mean, what,
Well, like a neighborhood.
I mean, it's not, it doesn't flow, it's not
what
a
period of architecture?
No, I mean, is this a colonial, is it, what is this?
No.
Well, it isn't. I don't know. I wouldn't, it started out with the approved plans.
Right.
It was very close to a shingle style and very attractive.
Right.
And we approved it because it was lovely, but what occurred was not acceptable at all. So we're trying to work out a happy medium here that everyone will be happy with, particularly the butters. I mean, that road, it's not a road that's driven a lot except by the people who live there.
People that live there, but there are quite a few, and they all go by this.
Yeah, and they have to,
The first-
and they all drive
first
by
house.
this, you all drive by this house, so, do you have anything to add?
I don't particularly like that little doghouse thing over there. It looks like a clock tower to me. At the front
On-
entrance.
Oh, that's going to change. That's what we're talking about.
On the,
Oh, where?
over the door?
I mean,
Yeah, we're changing that.
That's
That's- yeah.
gone.
Changing the line of the,
Sure.
yeah.
right.
Yep. That's gonna look, more like this one. If you wanna come up and,
Yeah, present, it looks like a vestibule, kind of.
Right.
Just a little.
so that
rectangle.
is, so this will be gone.
It's
And
included.
it'll look like this.
Okay.
And it's, well, it's hard to
The
describe.
roof will extend out.
Yeah, the roof will extend out and this,
Yeah. So this is probably
It's
good.
on
And
the-
and the,
Oh,
this
I should go get
won't
the
be here,
sample
and the
picture.
door is gonna be taller,
Okay.
okay?
So
Then,
this piece is gone, correct, John?
yes, okay? So then, over here, there's gonna be a board coming across and scallop shingles, so,
And the window will come out.
the window, yeah. We're removing, yeah,
That's
right.
This one's coming
And,
out.
It's coming.
yeah, that'll come out, okay? This is what we're talking about. We don't have those plans in front of us, but this is what we're saying that we would
It would be more
consider.
consistent with the original approved plans.
Right.
And just quickly, just so I know, so the raising of the roof, the elevation, that's totally fine?
Well,
I understand.
make your argument that we should make him tear his
We're-
roof
we're-
off, because,
We're trying not to make them tear the place totally apart and redo
really,
it. So-
I understand it's probably within our power to have him do that,
It absolutely is.
so. Go ahead, let's come up to the mic. No, yeah, you play,
I'm just trying to learn
you can,
acclimate myself with the standards and everything like that, so.
right. So, well, we had a workhouse just before, a workshop with the lawyer, and we were just talking about the property needs to be incongruousness, I guess. What's the word? Incongruity with the neighborhood.
Right. Right.
So that's what that's what we're attempting to do with what we have, without going to the extremes of tearing down roofs and things, which is pretty extreme. But unfortunately, what the young man did was pretty extreme.
Exactly, and he's a builder, so
Yeah,
he should know better, but
right,
That's-
you're on the record from the last meeting.
I know.
This is a sample of what the rate looks like. And this will most likely.
Okay, so I think that's about it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anybody
so.
else that any
Do you have any questions about what we've covered?
No, I think as long as Beth wrote all
All
that
right, let me
down.
go through it so that I know that, so she, all right. All right.
There was one item here.
Oh, I'm
I-
sorry, Richard. Go ahead.
didn't talk about, is continue the roof overhang around the back of the garage as proposed plan. I really don't think that's necessary, because it's
Oh, right.
That,
it's all covered with trees and everything back there, you're not gonna see it,
Okay,
so why bother with it?
right. That's the third one under the roof. Okay.
With elevation. Wind station, if we were designing a new one, it would be probably more appropriate to be white AZEC or cedar boards. But it is what it is at this point. How old is that thing?
Probably 8 or 10 years.
Yeah. So when it falls apart completely and you replace it,
Yeah.
then you come in to us, please.
So Beth, you were saying?
Okay, so if I get it right, I'm just gonna go like this. The front elevation, which here, we already talked about removing that decorative window. We already talked about what you're gonna do in there. There's the rake.
Yeah.
And
flying rake.
then decorative shingles in that rake where you have the roof, where you have the siding shingles in
Yep.
there. So that's that. That's reducing the peak over the, so reduce the peak over the main entrance. I don't think, we're not reducing it, we're just changing it
No,
up.
we're changing
Yep,
the approach.
Yep, so that's not there. So let me just change that. You already know what you're doing with that, so I'm not gonna get
Yep.
that. Okay. Remove the window on the third level gable.
Yep.
Include railings on the drawings. When you come back with your final drawings, make sure you have all your railings everywhere all drawn in.
It's a dangerous job.
yeah.
Raise the height of the door, so a 7-foot door or a higher door to remove this molding.
Yep.
and then decorative shingles with the trim board across the peak of the, what's that, a doghouse dormer?
Yeah.
And, right, and the decorative
I was under the
shingles?
impression they just wanted the right-hand side.
I think it was the right-hand side.
It is
Yeah,
the
that
right,
is-
it-
Yeah.
yeah, on the front of the house.
Yeah,
No,
but
but-
not the doghouse. is the way
Not the
I-
doghouse.
Not the
Not
doghouse.
the doghouse.
You're not going to do that, you just want to do it there?
Just leave it, yeah.
Oh,
Because it'll sit it right on top of that window again, which is
Right.
what
Right.
we're trying to eliminate in the door.
okay, I just saw it, a note over there. Okay, so, remove the window on the third level gable, and I'm just going to say replace with decorative
Yep.
shingles. All right, that's the front. No change, all right, so that's the front. There's no changes to the garage side. Then the far side that has those 3 windows, we decided we're removing those windows and putting some decorative shingles there.
Yep. With an option of an awning if it's appropriate. What about a smaller awning?
And so,
Yeah.
Okay.
oh,
Alright.
so,
Yeah, I
right,
think it
now
was
I'm
just the
confused.
problem with page 2.
Yeah.
The revised plan showed a much bigger window than
Right.
those that are
Okay.
on the floor below.
so we're talking about this window here
Yeah.
Yeah.
still? So you're saying then, if there's a window there, you don't want the decorative shingles then?
Well, I think
Because that would look funny, wouldn't it? With the window in the middle of it?
And you're talking about which?
See, I heard 2 conversations. I heard one, get rid of the window with decorative shingles to
Yeah.
break it up. I
Right.
heard another one saying, you know, maybe a small window up there, but we didn't talk about whether there were going to be decorative shingles there or not.
Yeah, we did. That's
You
the
did?
one about 1/3 of the way down, you said
Yeah.
eight
Yeah.
rows
Yeah.
down?
Yeah, to put
On 8
decorative
rows
shingles,
down.
but you didn't talk about a window, though.
No window.
Right, someone else was talking about putting a window there.
No.
That's what they're talking
Well,
about now.
where's the window that we were going to reduce in height and
We're
increase?
not there
in-
yet.
We're not
I
there
haven't
yet.
gotten to
Okay,
that.
good.
We're still on the level that
So,
has the 3
no, but-
windows
so,
there.
No,
that-
I thought we had agreed that we were removing that window, but now you're asking, would it be
No, I
acceptable?
actually thought that was the one that Robert was talking about, the one we
That's
shrink down
what
and
I
make
thought.
wider.
All right, we're still talking this elevation, though, but
Yep,
so you don't,
correct, yeah.
you're not thinking of window there?
Yeah, so the single, so if you go back to page 1, we, you talked about maybe doing something,
This one.
yeah.
This one,
Twenty
yeah,
east
right,
elevation.
yeah, Right,
Yeah.
yeah,
That was approved with no window,
Yeah.
right.
and now has 3. We're
Yeah.
going to go back down to 1?
So
I thought you were going to go to none.
I thought we were
none.
going,
Third
but
go to none.
didn't you ask?
so Robert had actually said if you bring a shorter one with a wider one, that might be,
Oh, that's the first
There.
part of the discussion,
Right,
then
so
I
I-
think it ended up with no window.
We
So I
ended
think you
up
need
with
to
no
concess
window.
it.
okay, so we're back to no window.
Yes.
Okay, fine.
No
And we're
window.
coming down approximately 8 rows, which is 40
Yeah.
inches, give or take.
All right.
Yeah,
Okay.
No window, decorative shingles on this elevation.
okay.
Side.
Yep.
It's okay.
And then the rear,
Do you want a
really
window
not
there,
much,
Bob?
not much.
I'm not wedded to it,
Okay,
no. I just think if it was going to be there, it shouldn't be that big one. That's
Right.
that big skinny one.
that,
So,
right, I agree.
okay.
On the rear, the only change is that on your elevation drawings, you do your cable.
And do the cable.
You're going to do your
okay.
cable there and put in the rinse station.
Yeah.
And that's it, there wasn't any,
Railing on the drawing.
yeah, just update your drawings, yeah, yeah, you know
Okay.
that, yeah, yep.
Okay.
Um,
Progress.
Big progress. So our next step then will be, do you have an idea of when you might be able to get revised drawings done?
Well, it depends on how hard I crack the whip.
Our
I-
next meeting is October 15th, but you're too late to have a formal application in for that meeting. I think we've discussed that.
Yeah, it's
So-
like 2 days from now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's not going to happen, but if you want, we
Yeah.
can either,
Book it for the next meeting.
you can bring in revised plans
Yeah,
to me first.
okay,
We can talk about it, I can show them,
okay,
and we'll, you and I will figure it
yeah,
out.
okay. Yeah, I mean, I'll get her on it as soon as I
Yeah.
can. It's,
Yeah.
you know,
At this point, Richard, though, the abutters, if the plans come back somewhat acceptable to the board, when it does go to a public hearing, it's opened again to a butter's comments.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Yep.
All right, so just know that, okay. So, so we'll leave it, all right, so that's it, I guess.
Yeah, but we'll be targeting for the late October meeting, right?
Yes, for the final, yeah, for the final plans for a new application.
Right.
Yep, yep. And John did come in late this afternoon, we did discuss that.
Good.
That would be a good target to go,
Yeah. then we can maybe
because the
wrap
time
it all
constraints are
up at
just
that
too
point.
tight.
Okay,
All right, so revised elevations of all four sides,
Yep.
and,
You know what, I'm going to stop and see you on Wednesday.
good, Wednesday?
Because- Yeah,
Works, good, I'm here,
yeah,
yeah.
because
Cool.
you could tell me anything tonight, it's just going to be...
I know, and tomorrow I'll go through it, and I'll make sure I get the bullet points right, and then we'll chat. All right, sounds good.
okay. Thank you, John.
Yes, thank you, John.
Thank you.
Cooperation. Okay,
Thanks, Haley. Tim, you can wake up now, you can go home. Thank you.
thank you for
Thanks.
coming, Tim.
Thanks for coming.
Special request. Okay, so we have no other business. Next meeting is the 15th, it's a Tuesday.
It's a Tuesday.
And I'm sorry, but
Thank you guys for coming.
Yes.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
I'm sorry I wasn't here at 6 o'clock. It would have been almost impossible for me to be here, but in addition, I had forgotten it. Because I was at my brother-in-law's funeral today.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
We buried him in the National Cemetery.
Oh,
And after that, they had, his family is huge. First, he had 11 children, and the 11 children.
Richard,
Yeah.
could I interrupt? I move to adjourn.
Adjourn, and then I'll
Second.
tell you.
Second.
Okay. So then you have.
Wait a minute, let's have the vote. Okay, I guess we're done.